Here and now, we pledge to unite in our millions, rising together in nonviolent resistance to stop a great horror. We pledge to stay in the streets, overcoming fear and uncertainty until this American fascism is brought to a halt. We demand Trump, Pence out now!
Trump, Pence out now!
We will not stop until they're gone.
This is history in the making, like seriously so important, and people are gonna ask, what did you do, you know?
Ending fascism would be one step closer to helping mitigate the climate emergency, one step closer to stamping out white supremacy and ending a lot of the racial injustice that we have about. So for me, all of these issues are so intertwined, there's no reason not to show up.
And I'm here fighting for everybody, not just me, not just my family, but for everybody. All lives matter. But black lives don't need to matter first because they keep on killing us.
This is serious, and so it feels good to know that there's other people that see it too, and I think we can find strength together.
We are saying today on September 5th that we are making a living declaration, that we are uniting, we are organizing, we are determined, and we will not stop. We will keep going until we drive the Trump-Pence regime from power and stop and bring this fascist assault to a halt.
Just listen to the words of Miles Taylor, the former head of the Department of Homeland Security who served under Trump. He said, "There are people serving very close to the president that have told me verbatim, we should expect, quote, shock and awe if the president wins a second term."
If we lose democracy, we lose everything. No Medicare for all, no defunding the police, no progressive policies whatsoever.
They want to force all women to have children against their will. And listen well, there is nothing funny about Donald Trump's so-called joke when he said Mike Pence wants to hang all the gay people.
Well, it is dangerous. This is like a tipping point, and you can feel it. He has vigilantes, literal vigilante people coming out murdering protesters.
Another 4 years of this, man, we're going to be in concentration camps again. We're going to be out there picking cotton again if we don't stop them.
It's not just going to be bad, it's going to be a nightmare. Like everything that we've seen in these streets, there is no defund the police in a fascist America. There is no movement for black lives that they can lock you up and break your knees and kill you in the streets. And so this is why we are calling for everybody, every group, the environmental rights group, Black Lives Matter, immigrants' rights, women's rights. Don't stop fighting for your individual issues. But now is the time to come together in our millions to drive out this regime.
So I'm also a civil rights lawyer with the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union. So we know this administration is separating families, traumatizing children on purpose as a tactic of terror. And we're seeing and experiencing something unlike anything we've ever seen.
In the face of the farce of an impeachment trial in the Senate, Trump actually had his lawyers say that the Constitution lets him do anything he wants. Anything he wants! When you look closely and honestly at Trump's record, you realize what he means by law and order. He means Trump's law, Trump's order. That's right. And I think religious folks have to say, this doesn't represent our values.
This puffed up idiot talks tough, hiding behind an army of death and destruction that has been built up through a whole history of plunder and war and genocide and slavery. Anybody could stand behind that and talk tough. And that is all that they have. What we have is us. The masses of people in our millions who refuse to live in a fascist America.
They've been using the virus against black and brown people. They cheer on the police when they pump 7 bullets into the back of an unarmed black man's back in front of his 3 little children. They cheer and they call them heroes. Okay? We're not uniting with them. We're rising up in our millions. This is what we're calling for. Masses to rise up in our mass millions to completely overshadow them and dwarf them.
When you see a senior, please have the social distancing, even if you're young. And to the seniors here, I want to say to you, do what I do. I stick to the sides near the sidewalk, okay? But I show up. I show up. I show up. I show up. And I bring my friends to show up and get them out of office. Trump and Pence, out now.
I understand this real fear out there, but later people are gonna ask. This is an important time. This is history in the making, like seriously so important, and people are gonna ask, what did you do, you know? Where were you? Did you help? Did you stand? What do you want to tell people in the future? What are you gonna be proud to share?
This is not a one-day show. We didn't call you out here to register that you don't like Donald Trump and then to go back home and wait to see what happened. We called you out here to be the beginning core of the force that is going to reach out to and enlist others, that's going to mobilize others, that's going to organize others to take up this 60 days of defiant resistance, to organize town halls, community speak-outs, protests, all different forms, cultural events, to go through notable points in September and to be the force in October that can bring people out into the streets day after day, night after night, in growing numbers, with the demand, Trump, Pence, out now.
October must belong to us. October must belong to us. Not Trump and not his fascist goons. So we gotta be on a mission to change this equation so that in November, he is not easily able to delay the elections or whatever other thing he may try to do.
There is beauty, there is power, and there is meaning in standing up together to stop this fascist America. Not only there's beauty and power in stopping this catastrophe for humanity, but there is beauty and power in meaning in becoming the kind of people who stand up for each other, who look out for each other, who put humanity first, not ourselves or America first. There is beauty in our diversity. There is beauty in our courage. There is beauty in our helping each other overcome their fear. If we here today promise and pledge together that we will go forward from here, we will change our lives to change what others are doing. We will overcome our own fear and uncertainty to help others overcome theirs. If we make this our mission together for the next 60 days, we can awaken and arouse a force that can bring a great gift to humanity. We can drive out a fascist America.